Can I see the sign?
Well, are we under Canadian law or Sharia laws here, sir?
For my officer safety, please.
Your officer safety.
I think there's going to be violence, serious violence. There already are incidents already. Jewish schools are shot up, synagogues are shot up, windows are smashed at synagogues, Jews are accosted all over the place, not only in Toronto but across Canada.
Thank you, Michael Krasner.
And if we allow it to continue, I'm very afraid that it's going to turn into violence and pogroms in the streets like we saw before the establishment of the state.
Don't support the state of Israel. Supporting the state of Israel is a rebellion against God.
Man, he's the f***ing guy. F*** you and f*** Israel.
Hey,
Go
watch yourself.
Don't touch
Hey,
me.
don't touch us.
Don't touch me.
You don't walk away.
Go. Fuck
Officer, are you going to enforce the law? Well,
Well,
not with that name. You know. Okay. David Menzies for Rebel News. But excuse me. David Menzies for Rebel News here in Toronto, and folks, we're back at the intersection of Bathurst and Shepherd, and as you can see,
if you do that, they have every right to do that.
thank you.
Don't Why cannot they stand there?
Thank you, officer.
Support the children!
If I go back, you allow me. If you point
If I go back, you allow children!
Okay, what you will do? What you will do?
The genocide in Gaza!
As I was saying, folks, we are back here at the corner of Bathurst and Shepherd. And you know, for about a year now, actually a little over a year, the pro-Israel demonstrators have assembled on the other side of the street. And it's basically to have a vigil for the kidnapped victims, the ones that remain alive, of course, for their safe return. Now, there are thousands of intersections in the city of Toronto in which the pro-Hamas crowd can come and demonstrate, but for the last 3 weeks, they have picked this intersection. Now, one of the reasons we're here is to monitor the behavior of the police, because last week there was a man who allegedly made an offensive gesture to the Hitler Youth Movement, and well, the pro-Hamas crowd, they complained to the police, and the police arrested him. So we're hoping to do a follow-up on that, and it was absolutely incredible. Now, it's like Beatlemania has broken out. I know I'm not Brad Pitt, but I don't think I'm at the level where women are screaming. Right? In any event, the other reason we're here is to see how journalists are treated. One of the pro-Hamas people complained to the cops that they didn't want me here. That's on a public sidewalk. And guess what? I was frog marched off. Oh, well, here we go. Why are the cops taking your orders, sir? Are we under Canadian law or Sharia law?
Whose orders? What are you talking about?
Well, it seems that, with you guys, you complain about people. Yeah.
When someone breaks the law, they enforce it.
Oh, is that right?
Someone did the throat gesture.
Okay.
Don't you think they should go to jail? Whoever does
What about chanting genocide on the streets of? Answer that question. Who cares what I think, sir? But you've been chanting for genocide for over a year now.
I just said to you.
Under Section 319 of the Criminal Code of Canada.
I just said to you.
Okay. I know you know the law because I think your brother has been charged with something.
If the police break,
How's your brother's case going?
police see a crime, whoever does it, they're gonna enforce it. It just so
Well,
happens.
they need a few paddy wagons here because I've seen this chant for genocide. There was someone down here that had a swastika.
This is a sign of peace. This is a sign of good.
Can I see the sign?
They would not be here if we were swearing at the sign. Would you be here if we were swearing?
Can I see the sign?
They would not be
Why not?
here if we were sexually graphic.
We just want you to show your humanity.
ID.
My time is done.
What happened to your mic?
What?
It's not a safety issue. Please move.
What happened to your
Well, sir, if
mic?
it's a safety issue,
Can you move back, please?
officer, if you think I'm in danger, why not arrest the
I didn't
thugs?
say you're in danger because
Okay.
what happened in here, right?
Yeah.
Take it away from my face, please. Thank you. What's happening? I give you enough chance.
Oh, he complained again, right?
I give you enough chance. Whatever you need to do, sir. Right? You have to wrap it up, and you have to go in the other side.
Well, why don't they move away from me? I have every right to stand on this sidewalk.
Argument with you, sir. Please. I give you enough. I support you for whatever you do. I give you make sure anybody do.
I appreciate that, officer.
And now the time is done, and you have to listen to me.
Well, are we under Canadian law or Sharia laws here, sir?
For my officer safety, please. I'm
Your
asking
officer safety.
If you want juicy information, go there.
I'm middle of two group here.
If you want to report crimes, go there. They're over there.
Well, this is a public sidewalk. This is not your private property.
Of course not. You're not getting nothing juicy here. The juicy stuff is
Let
there.
me finish, please.
Where they break the laws.
Can you let me finish? I asked you. Please.
Okay, officer, with all due respect, before I leave, if you think there's a safety issue here, why aren't you arresting the thugs, including this man who assaulted me, and damaged my microphone? Don't touch the mic.
Put that mic out of my face.
Don't touch
You
it.
put that mic in my face. Get that mic out of my face. That mic in my
why don't
face.
you hit it
Stop
again?
putting that mic in my face.
Why?
Because I want to keep the peace here.
Why don't you uphold your oath, officer? I'm practicing journalism on a public street.
Follow the Canadian law.
Him.
Can you wrap
Follow
it
the
up?
Canadian law.
Okay,
and
can you
go
wrap
down
it
the
up?
side.
We're not allowed there.
I can't even move. You're
can't
surrounding me.
I ask you, please give me a room, please. Can you move back?
Menzies, we're not allowed there.
Can you move back? Hey, can you move back, please?
So there you go.
Move back. Can you?
So, okay, I'm walking.
Can you move back, please?
So there you go.
Okay, move back.
My camera is there. So there you go, folks. Well, I gotta wait for the light. I don't want to jaywalk. So there you have it, folks. We are seeing the enforcement of Sharia law in the Great Dominion of Canada. These thugs want us to leave, and the cops are following their orders. It is unbelievable. And the reason, according to this officer, it's a safety issue. Well, if anyone is at risk, by these hooligans, then why not enforce the law against them? This is like victim blaming. Thank you. Well, that's how we roll in Toronto. The police have two-tier policing. They're taking their orders from Mayor Olivia Chow or perhaps Justin Trudeau, and it is absolutely despicable. I mean, if you don't want to enforce the law, why are you a police officer? You know, that's all we're saying. Uphold the law, enforce the law, but no, they are bending the knee to the thugs. Week after week after week, this is what happens. And I think our country is lost. How much longer is this going to go on for? Who is in control of the Toronto Police Service? I'd really like to know that. Or is this just a grassroots policing? They've picked a side, the wrong side, and they are enforcing the law accordingly, or what they interpret to be the law. It's absolutely shameful, folks. What can I tell you?
Proud of that crowd.
Sorry, what's your badge number again?
What did I ask you?
I'm here as Independent Press.
Independent press?
But what's your badge number?
Why I have to give you my badge?
You are working as a police officer.
Yeah.
When a citizen asks you for your badge number, you're supposed to give it.
So my badge number is 11710.
Thank you.
All right. So you are independent press?
Well, folks, I'm with Mayor Weinstein, a familiar face. He's with Israel Now. And Mayor, one of our angles on covering this demonstration, it's not so much the dueling protests, but the fact that there seems to be an abundantly clear indication of two-tier policing. Namely, you can have the people across the street, the river to the sea crowd, chant for genocide, do vandalism, do physical assault. It's nothing to see here, but the police, on their behest, will arrest peaceful counter-demonstrators, will interfere with independent media types. Mayor, the question I ask is, are we under Canadian law or Sharia law right now?
That's a great question. It really does seem like Sharia law. is being enforced in Canada right now.
Just to understand what's going on this side of the street. When it started, there was a global call for killing of Jews. And people were frightened. I was afraid to send my kids to school that day. And that was the first time, I believe, a couple of community members decided they're going to stand on this corner, wave the Israeli flag. We're not going to hide. We're going to be proud and free in Canada. Canada has a proud Jewish community. Out of that grassroots, this rally's been blossoming for more than a year, being proud to be Jewish in public and for calling for the return of the hostages. Support of the IDF, support of friends and family in Israel, return of the hostages. That's what this rally is about. Now, these people over here have attempted to slander and mischaracterize what we're doing over here, and I would like Canadians to look at the facts. You have flags, you have maps of Israel covered over with the Palestinian flag, calling for the end of the state of Israel.
As a Canadian-born Israeli citizen, I want to make it clear that what they're doing is a flagrant violation of the law. All right, Article 319, subsection 2.1 of the Criminal Code prohibits the downplaying, distortion, or denial of the Holocaust, and yet they sit and project onto Jews the very thing that Jews went through, the most traumatic incident in their history. They use words like genocide, which was coined by Raphael Lemkin, a Polish Jew, for the Holocaust against us, even though it doesn't meet the criteria of genocide according to the convention, right? So you're looking at a situation where there's been a 2.48% increase in the Gaza Strip in population, and we don't see that in a genocide. You don't see intent, which is the key component to genocide, and you don't see the execution. There's never been a genocide in history where the population is somehow increased during. There may be increase after, right? Massive birth rates and people coming back in, never during. So I think a lot of it is everything that we've gone through, they like to project onto us. Every buzzword they use is something that we've gone through as a people. And I find that not only incredibly disrespectful and anti-Semitic, I also find it to be a flagrant violation of the law, either hate speech or the hate speech as it applies to Jews under the 2.1 subsection, which is for anti-Semitism.
Orlevy is, I think, 33 years old now. He's been held captive since October 7th. He was in the bomb shelter where 27 Israeli youth from the Nova Festival were hiding. He and his wife, they have a 3-year-old son. 8 grenades were thrown into that bomb shelter. 7 were thrown back successfully at the terrorists. The last one they timed better on their side, and it blew up. That's the one that blew off the hand of Hirsch, Poland, Goldberg. And Orr was one of those who survived that grenade. His wife did not. She was murdered in front of him, and thus he was dragged into Gaza. He has been there ever since. We have heard nothing. We don't know if he's alive or dead.
You know,
wife is gone, and their 3-year-old son is being raised by his 2 brothers and his parents.
Well, folks, as you can see behind me, our Rebel News Jumbotron equipped truck is here. We are echoing the message of these demonstrators, namely, bring them home. Now, I know you can't wear a T-shirt at the Scotiabank Arena saying that, they'll kick you out, but we're standing up for what's right. If you agree with that message, please go to CanadaStandsWithIsrael.com. That's CanadaStandsWithIsrael.com and sign the petition. Should Donald Trump be successful in being elected president again, do you see that as a hope that peace will be restored in the world?
Absolutely. We need a strong leader. Unfortunately, the other camp is the same Obama mantra. It doesn't change anything.
Well, folks, maybe you remember last week when we were here, we spoke to Carol, the daughter of a Holocaust survivor who was celebrating his birthday last Thursday. Well, here's the birthday boy himself. It's Jack. He turned 95. Jack, happy birthday. I think your birth date is October 31st, Halloween, but I gotta say, sometimes when you see the shenanigans across the street, people chanting for genocide,
they even allow them to come in there.
How does that make you feel as a Holocaust survivor?
Very disappointing that they allow them over there. Let them do it on their own day, not disturb what we do.
Well, folks, it's not exclusively Palestinian flags on the other side of the street. We see the Iranian regime flag. And, you know, if we were allowed on the other side of the street, I would ask that fellow, are you afraid to use your pager right now? I sure would be. And I can't stress the importance of this U.S. presidential election on Tuesday. When the Trump administration was in power, well, the Iranian regime, it was virtually bankrupt. They were docile. Under the Biden administration, they are flush with billions of dollars of oil revenue because the sanctions aren't being enforced. And they're the ones that are funding the terrorism. Let's hope the beginning of the end of that party begins come Tuesday night. Now, Charlene, I see someone who seems to be an Orthodox Jew. He's on the side of Hamas. He is holding a sign that says, State of Israel does not represent world Jewry. He even puts the word Israel in quotation marks. What's the deal with that guy?
So this is a cult. I'm not sure of the numbers in Israel. I think they speak Yiddish. They don't even speak English. They do nothing for the state of Israel, and they do not accept the state of Israel as a legitimate state at all.
Where's the authority? Where's our politicians? Where's our police? Yeah. Where are they? I mean, that's the reality. Where are they? We're disappointed.
I sent a letter to the Solicitor General, Michael Kersner, citing Section 319 of the Criminal Code, and it also includes Holocaust denial in there. And I did not receive a response to him. He's the Solicitor General. He lives in this riding as well, and he's not enforcing the law.
It is totally unprecedented in modern. We have to remember that everyone in Ontario has an equal right to live and to prosper and to raise their families and to do this safely. As your MPP, I will always stand with my community. I will always be here to change the values of peace and friendship.
We need to put the safety and security of our citizens, our Canadian citizens, above everything else, whether they're a minority population in this country like the Jewish people or the Arab population. But at the end of the day, to engage in and flagrantly violate over and over again a subsection of the law that is very explicit, to me, just shows that they feel as though there are no repercussions for their actions. The law doesn't apply to them, and therein they can get away with whatever they want. And if we allow it to continue, I'm very afraid that it's going to turn into violence and pogroms in the streets like we saw before the establishment of the state.
You know, when you vote for the liberal side of transgender and free this and free that, you destroy the country and you destroy everything in it, including the first thing, the anti-Semitism, which is rampant in North America now, is really hurting everything around. It's not just for the Jews, but for all minorities.
Sometimes I don't even recognize the city of my birth anymore, Miriam. Last question. Your prediction, what's going to happen on Tuesday night?
I hope Trump wins. He has to win, otherwise the world will be destroyed.
I think there's going to be violence, serious violence. There already are incidents already. Jewish schools are shot up, synagogues are shot up, windows are smashed at synagogues, Jews are accosted all over the place, not only in Toronto, but across Canada. It's going to happen a lot more in our community. Those people on that side, Hamas supporters, that's what they're into. They call it resistance. They call us Jews the worst names imaginable, worse than insects they compare us to. That hate is tolerated, and it will definitely lead to an increase in violence. There's absolutely no question about it, and the police are not enforcing the law.
Well, folks, it's been more than a year since that grotesque massacre in Israel, and yet cries for genocide in our great dominion still ring out. It is despicable, and if you feel like we do, why don't you sign our petition? That is CanadaStandsWithIsrael.com. CanadaStandsWithIsrael.com. We won't tolerate this vile, disgusting hate speech. And by the way, if you're not a citizen, how's this for a suggestion? Pack your bags and leave.